Hi, it's Melanie, and in this video I want to share with you a strategy that I use every week in my family to make breakfast easier. So I just got back from a week-long trip to Lake Erie. It was a 7-hour car ride that we split into 2 days both ways. It was a big trip, and I carried my breakfast strategy into that trip, and it made the travel a whole lot easier. We stayed in 2 different hotels and a beach house, and I had my breakfast ready because what we do in our family is we batch cook our breakfast. And I guess it's typically once a week, but there's no set schedule because we do it whenever we run out of what we already have. And there's 3 things that I find really easy to batch cook that you could maybe start doing if these are foods that you're already eating for breakfast, or if you're looking for some new breakfast ideas, try one of these 3. So the first one is what I typically eat for breakfast, and my daughter does as well, which is a sausage hash, some sort of ground meat with vegetables and beans, and I make about a pound of meat with all the other add-ins every week. And for the trip, I actually made 3 pounds of meat, added in some beans and some leafy greens and some zucchini that time. So you can kind of mix and match however you want to make it. And I do have a recipe, my basic recipe for this, on my blog, and I'll post that on this video as well. So you can make something meat-based like that if you like having a warmer, heartier breakfast, and make enough to last for the whole week. And then we just put it in the broiler. That's how I like to heat things up. Every morning we put how much we want in the broiler, and it lasts about a week. The other thing that my husband does for his breakfast about every week is making oatmeal in a big batch. So we don't do instant oatmeal. We buy the rolled oats, and we add things like additional oat bran, coconut milk, berries, nuts, cinnamon, and we make a big pot of that and put it in the refrigerator. My husband likes to eat it cold. It kind of gets not really congealed, but it gets like a thicker texture, and he just eats it right out of the fridge. But if you wanted to warm that up, you could do that as well. And that way, if you like something more like grain-based for breakfast, then again, you have it already ready, and you can put in all the different things that make it a lot more sustaining. So the coconut milk has nice fat. If you're putting in nuts, there's extra protein, and all of those additions will help you be fuller longer than if you're just eating plain oatmeal. So we have our sausage or whatever kind of meat and bean and vegetable mix. We have oatmeal. And the third thing that I like to do, which I'm not doing currently, but I used to do this a lot. Actually, my husband used to do it for me, if I'm being honest. And I help my clients with this as well, is smoothies. So smoothies are really great to have in the morning. I'm sure you've heard about this, and I don't need to tell you all of the things that are great about smoothies, but it's a great way to be able to get extra produce, especially vegetables and leafy greens, into your diet, is just throwing them into your smoothie in the morning. And I find that because smoothies tend to have a lot of ingredients, even though there's no cooking, it can be a lot of time in the morning, a lot of extra work that you may not have time for. So the way that you can batch cook these is really by preparing all of the ingredients in advance. So having the frozen ingredients in one container in the freezer and all the other fresh ingredients in another container in the fridge. So when my husband was making these for me, he would put the frozen berries and all the frozen fruit together because I didn't like it all in the fridge. It would just get too warm. So all the frozen berries would be separated out into different containers in the fridge, and we'd have little glass jars with everything else that would go into my smoothie. And that way I could dump one thing, dump the other thing, add in some liquid, whatever, almond milk or whatever else I was adding in my liquid, and it was like a 3-step smoothie, but even though it had like 12 or 15 ingredients. So those are the 3 ways that I like to think of batch cooking breakfast so that it's available throughout the week, and that way you know that you're getting a lot of nutrition in the morning, even if you don't have a lot of time to cook. So I'll put some resources and links to the recipes I mentioned in this video in the description box, and let me know if you have any questions about healthy breakfast or if you need some help with that part of your routine. And I'll talk to you again in the next video. Bye!